All right, guys, I haven't done a video for a while because I haven't had much content. Just got back from vacation. It was kind of nice to get away on a vacation that was not drift related. But I've been wanting to show you guys something. I made a recent acquisition, which I'm really excited about. This car's got some history for me, but let me show you what it is. It is, I bought this from a good friend of mine, Brody, who bought it from me, and it got passed around a little. I'll tell you the history in a second. But this is a Nissan Silvia. It was the first right-hand drive Japanese car that I ever owned. I bought it in California. I brought it back. I did a couple road trips with it when I was first married a long time ago. And I drifted it a little bit. I've got some pictures I'll put in the video right here. And I had a really good time with it. Then I crashed it. Then I sold it. And then someone else crashed it. Long story short, it got passed around Utah a little bit, but it did stay in Utah. And then I was able to get it back. It sat out in the yard for a while, and then Brody's like, hey, I want to build that car. And I was like, okay, you're crazy, because the front was crashed. And he took it from a crashed car and fixed it and put a bunch of cool parts on it, and it is almost complete. It runs and drives. It is basically just needing paint. Has a bunch of cool parts, and I'm really excited about it. And so let me give you a walk around on the car. It's a 91, I believe, Nissan Silvia. It is missing the doors. That stuff's all ready to paint. Basically everything was there. I started painting it for Brody, and then I made some mistakes in painting it, and then winter happened, so it's been cold literally since we started spraying this till now. It's been snowing. Like, it's April 6th right now, and there's still snow outside. It's like a ridiculous winter this year. And so, like, I really want to finish painting it, but I don't paint indoors. I don't have a paint booth, so usually what I do is spray outside and then let it dry inside. And so, being such a cold winter, I haven't been able to do that. So that's basically what this car needs. If all this stuff was painted, we could bolt the parts on and have this car running and driving and ready to go. But this car, it's already been on the dyno. It did, what did it do? 280? Yeah, pretty good. It's got a bunch of fancy bits. Brody, when he builds a car, he does a really, really good job on his builds. And so after he had gone through and done all this stuff and then decided he wanted to get rid of it, I was very excited to have the opportunity to buy it, because Brody always does such a good job on his cars.
We'll see the goodies.
Let's show the goodies. This has a cage kit's front end. Brody was able to have the frame pulled. Got this cage kit's front end to fit, so it would hold everything back in place. The car's not perfectly 100% straight, but most S chassis these days aren't that straight. It's got an SR that Brody put together. It's got a, do you know what turbo is? I don't know enough about this car.
Is it forged?
It's a 28.
I don't believe so. It's a stock bottom end, but it has been rebuilt. Yeah, T28. I think it's a S15 style.
Yeah.
Chinese turbo.
Disco potato.
It did really good numbers. It spools good. It's a cool car. It's got an ECU Master, EMU, Audi coils, and wiring specialties harness, Gecko coilovers. It's got a bunch of cool parts on the front. I should have left it on the lift to show off the bottom. He did a really good job with all the suspension. The subframe, it's all clean. This whole car is built from the ground up. It was literally a chassis, just like my
Taser.
No, my other car. I don't even know what I call it anymore.
Crash car?
My crash car. We literally took that one from outside, brought it in the shop, and built it up from nothing. Budget build. Yeah. Every nut and bolt on that car was put on, and Brody did that with this. He took it home, put it in his garage, and just built it. And what's funny is I actually hadn't seen it because he was building it at home, and I'd never saw the car while he was building it. And so when he brought it to the shop for paint, I was like, man, this is a really cool car. And it's been sitting in here waiting for me to paint it for all this time, and then I never even had a thought in my mind to buy the car from him until he's like, hey, I think I want to do something different. And so I was like, hey, I'd really like to buy the car. So super stoked on that. And like I said, I originally bought this car, I think in 2007 or 8. No, it would have been after that. No, it was after that. It was probably like a 10 or 11 that I bought this car. And I owned it for quite a while, and I really, really like the car. Yeah, I guess that's it. There's a bunch of cool parts underneath it, but we have everything to go on it to bolt together and put on it. It literally just needs to be painted. and I have never driven it. I bought it, it was up on the lift here, and it's been a couple weeks. I went on vacation, been doing some stuff, and we finally got the car on the ground, and so I decided, you know what, I should probably make a video about it, and I want to go drive it, test it out. It was tuned on the dyno, and that's when it did 280, I believe, and it's got a good map. There's some things that I want to change to make my own style, but like overall this car is really, really good. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep this engine in it or not, but this is basically like the start of whatever's going to happen here. I don't necessarily have a plan, but I just wanted to show you guys what it is and what direction it goes, and we'll add this to the series of builds that we do on this channel.
Why don't we ask the audience?
What I should do with it?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what my options are. I have another Silvia outside for sale that has a 1J in it. And so my thought was to take the SR out of this, put it in that Silvia, make that car like an original Silvia so it can get maximum value. Take the 1J, put it in this, because I would rather have a 1J. I feel like a 1J decreases the value of a Silvia versus someone who wants like a nice SR in their Silvia. And I wouldn't mind, as much as I want an SR, I love them. Why not just, you know, the 1J? So
Jay-Z, dog.
That's kind of where I'm at. It definitely fits my style to have a Jay-Z in here, but having a Jay-Z on a right-hand drive complicates things because the exhaust is on the steering shaft side. So Jay-Z's, I always say, are perfect for left-hand drive, whereas RB's, you know, the opposite.
Well, let's
SRs.
hope the audience gives their input.
Yeah, so tell me what you think. Should I keep the SR or should I put the 1J? Wait to comment till you hear this car drive. Let's go drive it. Part of this deal was acquiring my Dream wheels. Woo! You look really good on this car. Things I forgot about. This has a two-way LSD that we got out of an R32. It has big rear brakes, big front brakes, and I don't know I don't know about the exhaust. It's got some interesting muffler. Sounds pretty cool though. And then that blow off sounds really cool. I didn't notice that until I was like just doing burnouts here.
It has a whimper to it.
Really loud. It's a Blitz, isn't it? But it's yeah, it's a cool car. Definitely needs some buttoning up, but it's like 90% there, which I'm really stoked on. And Brody does a really good job of like putting a bunch of cool parts together and making it work, and that's exactly what this car is. He also did a lot with the interior. The interior is really cool in this car. The dash is flocked. I think he dyed the carpet. Yeah, it's done up well. So once the door panels and everything are in place, this car is going to be really, really awesome.
Is it fun driving it with no doors and no glass?
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. And I don't have any intention of this being a drift car. This will be like a really cool street car. I've always wanted like a nice Silvia, and to have my original Silvia back and be able to drive it after I've owned so many other cars since I originally had this car. I'm really excited about that. Got no mirrors. The only time I've been in this car is I went with Brody on his first test drive, and it was cool. It was fast. Another thing I forgot is this transmission's been rebuilt. I've never driven with a freshly rebuilt transmission, new synchros and stuff. Electric power steering, a Volvo pump, and I don't know what it has for a clutch, but it feels pretty solid. Suspension feels really good. And the handbrake works. That's kind of nice. SR car I had was it was that green hatch that I drove for a while. Then I sold it to my cousin Brad. That one was really fun. It had a 20G turbo, and it made like the right amount of power. It's really good. I love driving that car. And this one's almost there. If you turn the boost up a little bit on this thing, I'll bet it'll be right in line with what that was. This just has a lot better parts. So I can imagine this SR being really fun. But like, you can't go wrong with a JZ. You're not pushing the limits on a JZ at 400 horsepower. With an SR, I'd always be worried that it's gonna pop, you know? Where if I take the SR, put it in something else, sell it, I'm getting my money back out of the motor and having something that I'm more comfortable with in this kind of car. So let me know what you guys think. I really like SRs. I'm not gonna say I don't like them, but I also really worry about them being always on the edge if you're above 300 horsepower.
The ceiling's lower.
Yeah, so tell me what you guys think. What's your experience? What do you think I should do? Which direction? That's it for today. This was just an intro on this. Ended up being a lot longer than I thought, but what a blast. Literally my first time driving this car in this format. Probably 10 years since I drove it when I owned it. It's crazy to think. All right, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Fly. Shoot fly. Don't bother me.
Howdy. Because the boots. I got the boots on.
Dang, girl.
It's Boot Tuesday.